I love the Smiths.
Sorry?
I said I love the Smiths. I love the Smiths.
Sorry?
I said I love the Smiths. I love the Smiths.
I deleted TikTok for a week to see what all the hype was about, and there was no hype. My life is boring. I have hobbies, but I don't feel like doing them. All these people on the internet, they're like, delete TikTok, your life will get better. Oh, arrest me, I'm on TikTok scrolling. I deleted TikTok for a week.
I am a teenage girl, only 23 years old. I am not perfect. I am a teenage girl, only 23 years old. I am not perfect.
You're never gonna believe this. So I'm 25, right? Like still a young little baby. And I go see my dad and he looks me in the face and he's, you're not gonna believe this. He says, Christian, I need to take you off the phone, Bill. Well, at first I got like worried he was having a stroke. So I was like, are you okay? So I called an ambulance and they got there. And he was fine, and his vitals were fine. And I just don't get it, because I'm his little baby boy. Why would you do that? You're never gonna believe this.
A couple of years ago, I randomly started thinking about a girl in 7th grade who suddenly ended.
This reminds me exactly of what Nietzsche talks about, which is that the weaker the soul, the better the memory, where one is endlessly thinking about past pain and regret and torment, whereas to him the highest soul has something he calls the virtue of forgetfulness, that even if somebody wrongs you, it's like water off a duck's back. They completely forget about it. It doesn't matter to them. It's the sign of a weak soul to care about the pain that is caused to them rather than continuing to go on. The fact that this woman would call up people who had hurt her when she was like 14 is not a good thing. It's a very, very weak thing.
A couple of years ago, I randomly started thinking about a girl in 7th grade who suddenly ended.
This reminds me exactly of what Nietzsche talks about.
Is it better to speak or to die? Is it better to speak or to die?
Y'all been keeping up with the blonde and the brunette girl that have drama on TikTok, Katie and Kayla. But here's the thing, if white women are ever in an argument, oh, I'm taking the brunette side like that. Like, if I could snap with my left hand, like that. Like, so quickly. And I have very valid reasons. First of all, this white man told me that, because guys, I grew up with white people. I be around, I ask white people questions all about being white. Like, I'm very ignorant. And I was like, what's up with the blondes brunettes? He was like, well, like, blonde brunettes are like subjectively hotter. But like a 10 who's a blonde is hotter than a 10 who's a brunette. I ain't like that. That felt like oppression. Also, I've been going to white schools my whole entire life. And I can always remember the brunettes were the nicest to the black girls. There were some brunettes, me to this day, me and my girl get together like we were in high school almost 10 years ago and talk about how pretty they are to this day. The blondes, never been a fan. I don't know if y'all been keeping up with the blonde and the brunette.
The difference between every sun, moon, and rising, Libra edition. All Libras are very focused on balance, harmony, peace. However, Libra suns actually experience a lot of people telling them who they should be, how they should be acting, what they like and what they don't like. And actually, Libra placements are more in search of attaining balance or creating it, rather than naturally having it themselves. Libras are ruled by the 7th house, marriage, relationships, personal relationships, business, money. And they're very much focused on other people and creating harmony for other people. But when it comes to themselves, they're very shaky in their sense of self, especially Libra sun.
Waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kinda odd. No barking from the dog, no small. And mama cooked the breakfast with no hog. I got my grub on, but didn't dig out. Finally got a call from a girl I wanna dig out. Hooked it up for later as I hit the dough. Thinking, will I live another 24? I gotta go, cause I got me a drop top. And if I hit the switch, I can make the ass drop. Had to stop at a red light, looking in my mirror, not a jacker in sight. And everything is alright. I got a beat from Kim, and she can fuck all night. Called up the homies and I'm asking y'all, which part are y'all?
Oh God, what if when he sees me, I like him and he knows it? What if he opens up a door? Oh God, what if when he sees me, I like...
He doesn't want to.
Dude, fucking tell him.
I already fucking told him.
Well, tell him again.
He fucking said no.
Well, make him say yes.
He doesn't want to.
Dude, fucking tell him.
I didn't let tears in my eyes, cause boys don't cry. Boys don't. I didn't let tears in my...
The clothes I like, everything I love, like I just was not meant to have boobs. Like it just makes absolutely no sense with who I am for me to just like under all this silliness have fucking huge tits. Like that makes no sense. The clothes I like, everything I
If I get cheated on after I have your kids, I'm going to kill you. Okay, good night. That was my controversial opinion. I'm going to literally kill you. If I get cheated on after I have your kids, I'm going to kill you. Okay, good night. That was my controversial opinion. I'm going to literally kill you. If I get cheated on after I have your kids, I'm going to kill you.
last time you were actually happy? When's the last time you were actually happy?
Life is unfair. Kill yourself or get over it. Life is
But the truth about all of this is, if you want a man to love you, ladies, this is the best advice ever. If you want a man to love you, then you have to cheat on him. But the truth about all of this is, if you want a
What happened at the girls' camp, Peppermint Patty? I finally saw the little red-haired girl that Chuck is always talking about. And you know what I did? I cried, Linus. I cried and cried and cried. Better give me my blanket back. I don't think I'm ready for this. I stood in front of that little red-haired girl and saw how pretty she was. Suddenly, I realized why Chuck has always loved her. And I realized that no one would ever love me that way. I started to cry, and I couldn't stop. I made a fool of myself, but I didn't care. I have a big nose, and my split ends have split ends. And I'll always be funny looking. And I think I'm gonna cry again. She's so pretty. She just sort of sparkles. I'll never sparkle. I'm a mud fence. I'm a plain Jane. The only person who ever knows how I feel is Snoopy. If Snoopy were here, he'd lean over and kiss me on the cheek. Like this, sweetie? You kissed me, Linus. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Someday, someone is going to look at you and say, "Behold, a great beauty." What happened at the girls' camp?
What is this? Wait. Oh, Taylor Swift? Whoa, I'm not a big fan. What? What is this?
At the end of the day, man, having a boyfriend ain't gonna work. At the end of the day, man, having a boyfriend ain't gonna work. At the end of the day, man.
In my opinion, that's Dudley. Why is that Dudley?
Because there's no post on Sundays.
Right you are, Harry. In my opinion, that's Dudley. Why is that Dudley?
Because there's no post on Sundays.
Right you are, Harry.
You know who the real brave people of this country are? People who aren't afraid to be anti-dog. I mean, you can be anti-cat all you want. You can splatter a cat's guts on the Capitol building and no one's gonna turn a blind eye. But you say one negative thing about dogs and people get upset. I personally like dogs. I'm a dog ally. But I'm also an ally to people who aren't dog allies. You know who the real brave
I never had a social life. I never left the house. I just simply sat in and read and watched television and done all the things that in life are generally considered to be quite negative and quite soul-destroying. I never had a social life. I never...
Like, he's just always in his own world. He really quiet for real unless he know you. He's funny as hell, though, but if he know you type shit, you know what I'm saying? Like he's just always in his own world. He really quiet.
Mason Margiela, all I see is numbers, yeah. Rain on my umbrella, them 808s like thunder, yeah. Pretty bitch, I just like a stove in the
mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it should be okay. I'm not too worried about it, really. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried at all. Yeah, I mean...
I got diagnosed with autism this summer, and as part of that, I got out two things. I found out one, that a lot of my friends think I'm really weird, and I didn't know that, but they filled out like evaluations. Yeah, they just said that they thought I'm weird, and that basically everyone thinks I'm weird. And I wouldn't mind it that much. But then I also found out that like when you're friends with someone, my psychiatrist who diagnosed me, she said that friendship isn't supposed to feel like you're pretending the whole time. It's not supposed to be this like game where someone says something and then you pull up all the possible responses and then choose the right one. And it felt that way to me. It felt like one of those video games where all the different options pop up and you pick one. Except I also had to generate all the appropriate options. And I found out that it's not supposed to be that. And so then I've been, and that masking is bad. Masking is really bad for your mental health and your physical health. And so I've been trying to do that less. But now I'm just alone. And I don't want to pretend in order to make people like me. It's really tiring. But like, am I just supposed to be alone? Is there a world in which I'm me and I have friends who like me? I got that.
So today I learned that you can learn a lot about people by really small little subtle things that they say in GQ. I was trying my friend's banana bread, and it was really good, and I asked them for the recipe, and they said no. And they gave me the sob story about it was their grandma's, and their grandma died, like, okay, breaking news, grandmas tend to die, and they would share the recipe with me. And that just little gesture of ill will told me all I need to know about them as a person. And number one is that they're a nepotism baby. To have inherited a recipe like that, that's nepotism. Number two, they're addicted to gatekeeping. Period. Addiction is a mental health issue. I'm not gonna fault them for that, but gatekeeping is something that they were actively choosing to do in that moment. Number three, I don't like them as a person. So today I learned that you can learn a lot about...
I just keep thinking about what Michael said. This is probably very bad for my mental health. I just keep thinking about what Michael said.
And you don't seem to understand. And you don't seem to understand.
So you think you or someone you know might have autism? Let's find out. One would be difficulty with social emotional reciprocity. That would be things like trouble having a back and forth conversation, approaching others in an awkward or inappropriate way. They don't seem to care about initiating social interactions with others. They don't pick up on these subtle nonverbal cues like facial expressions or the body language, hand gestures, things like that. And they don't seem to use those cues to indicate things to other people. Difficulty starting friendships, keeping friendships going, and even understanding friendships. Stereotyped motor movements, or stereotyped ways of using objects, or stereotyped ways of speaking. Rocking, or pacing back and forth, repeating a phrase or a line in a movie or something like that they've heard, and it doesn't really apply to the situation. Insistence on sameness. People with autism spectrum disorder like things to be predictable, planned, routine, and the upset that they feel when that's not adhered to is much greater than the average person. People with autism spectrum disorder tend to have one or two topics of interest that they know everything about. You can ask them any piece of minutia data, and they'll love to tell you about it, to the point to where it starts to become socially noticeable that nobody's interested in this, but they still keep going into detail on all the facts that they know. The sensory sensitivity, either sensitive to clothing textures, the seams in socks. It could be lights that seem too bright. It could be noises that really get to them. It can also...
I would have never done this to you. I would have never done this to you. And I would have never...
We haven't done anything wrong.
No.
We haven't. We haven't done anything wrong.
Stitch this with your hottest take.
The worst kind of pick-me's are animal pick-me's, okay? Let me explain. So an animal pick-me is somebody that, you probably heard of them, like they're the kind of people that would always pick an animal over a human being. Like you see those people, right? They're of a certain look, right? These people will see a story about how an animal, like let's say a lion for example, attacked a human being, they always pick the lion side, right? They're being a pick-me to the lion, thinking that the lion would do the same thing to them. These people are the dumbest people. Like these people would always remind us that they prefer animals over human beings, thinking that these animals care about them. I hope you guys get unalived by the lion. Like, these are the kind of people that would read a story about how a pit bull attacked a child and unalived the child, and they blame the child. Like think about how pathetic you have to be a pick-me to a pit bull.
Stitch this with your hottest take.
The worst kind of pick-me's are animal pick-me's, okay? Let me explain. So an animal pick-me is somebody that, you probably heard of them, like they're the kind of people that would always...
Do you feel like we've arrived now?
We have. I think we have. I see the change.
You are anti-Indian man. Oh, come on.
You
are not respecting our Indian. Hassan. Okay. Modi, go Modi. Okay. I know you are from Sacramento. I am. And I'm ashamed to say that you are from Sacramento. Come on, we're brothers. We're brothers. You should respect Modi. Okay. You should respect Modi. I am here India and Hindus. Yeah, I just want to take a picture, man. Okay. 1, 2. Even though we have difference of opinion, he's a good guy. Do
you feel like we've arrived now?
You're weird! You're weird as fuck. Like, you're so fucking weird. Why the fuck do you act like that? You're weird! You're weird as fuck.
Yep. You asked for it, bitch. Yep.
When you're an overthinker, but your manager also has social anxiety.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I think I'm just gonna go somewhere else. I'm so sorry. No, it's fine. Have a good day.
When you're an overthinker, but your manager also has social anxiety.